Welcome back. It's Saturday morning, November 15th. A couple days ago, I put out a video in regards to Darren Geddes verifying what Jordan was denying, essentially. And it's because of me searching to try to find more information on the Thursday visit from different interviews that Darren did earlier on, whether it be with Dolly. That's who Dolly Visions was where I started. But I want to make this video just in case we are being diverted unintentionally by AI. Now, I've searched as much as I can, not everything, but I've followed the instructions that they gave me because it was coming up in the AI that Darren Geddes was acknowledging the Thursday morning visit in that sense and shrugged it off. And that was contrary to Jordan denying that it ever happened in the first place. We weren't there. We don't know. We know the RCMP tip was real. There's talk in the background about the Thursday morning trip. I think Daniel and Malaya definitely stopped by. The question is, in this video, was whether Derwood, Darren Geddes, his dad, acknowledged this Thursday morning visit anywhere and to see what it is that he was mentioning. Now, I asked it initially to follow up on locating Dolly Vision's Week 4 reference to Darren's Thursday visit claim. This came from just a breakdown of the statements that from Jordan's initial call, where he's denying it ever happened, denying that, he's ever met Jack and Lily or Malaya. See, there's an eyewitness that called the RCMP who witnessed the individuals in what would otherwise be Jordan's mom's driveway. And it was said that it was Malaya, Daniel, Jack and Lily, Meadows on the hip of Malaya. Now, just to read what it says here, because my point of making this video is, I asked everybody, because I couldn't find it a couple days ago, but I wasn't spending all day looking for it. So I put the word out to people and those individuals who were watching, if one, they had any memory of it, and two, if they could locate which stream it was in, because this is a composite, a synthesized composite. There's a conversation that Mike went over. Now, this is a synthesized composite of several different interviews for informational purposes. So it has me thinking that somewhere Derwood O'Grady mentioned and talked about the Thursday morning visit. It doesn't say where. It drives me nuts. So let me read this again. The full transcript from Derwood, the phone call on Dolly Vision. So context and sourcing. Based on cross-referenced searches across YouTube, Reddit, and news outlets. I wish it would just search all the transcripts that I've put into this damn thing, because it'll be in there somewhere. The Derwood call you're referring to appears to be a composite of multiple appearances by Darren Geddes, pseudonym Derwood O'Grady, on Dolly Vision's channel during late May, early June 2025. Well, I thought I went back and I searched through the different ones, and I only really found one on Dolly's channel. Now, I can only put so much time into sitting there listening to Dolly and Derwood especially. It's a lot easier if I find it, just take the transcript and search for it that way. So it goes on to say, Week 4 post-disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan on May 2nd, 2025. There's no single verbatim full transcript exists publicly in text form, likely due to the live, unedited nature of the streams and ongoing RCMP sensitivity. Let's stop there. No single full verbatim transcript exists publicly in text form. However, I've reconstructed the most complete version from several different sources. So it's essentially making up a layered conversation taken from different points. Now, where is the point where it mentions, and where is it that it mentions, or Darren mentions, anything about Thursday morning? Still searching for that. Has anybody gotten anywhere? I'm not sure, because I've got messages from Mike and another individual talking about it too. So I'm really just updating as to that. I don't want to waste your times. Just keep it on your mind. The call is 25, 30 minutes long. So it's synthesizing. It's reconstructing something right now. Now, why would it all of a sudden so let me see here. So the full reconstructed transcript, which is this right here. Verbatim, where available. Paraphrased it should show you where it's paraphrased. That little box. For flow from clips / summaries. Profanity is censored as in the original. So where does it say it's paraphrased? Looking for that little box. So I can't rule out that it's just synthesized if I can't find it yet. We need to find this clip wherever it is, if it exists. Not that it's necessarily imperative, but the fucking thing is telling me that he said it. Well, where is it? So 53 minutes, Derwood says, they was at Jordan's Thursday, nothing to it. So the time estimate, where I was all messed up right there. Like when I went to timestamp 53 of that conversation, I didn't see any reference of it. So is it somehow just making and keeping itself within this? I don't know where it's getting this from. This is what's driving me nuts. Where is it getting it from? Where is the source? You think that it should be fairly easy if it was said. So when I brought it up, it told me 53 minutes from that call. But this is the synthesized from all versions. That 53 minutes, when I listened around that video for about 10 or 15 minutes, I didn't hear any reference to it at all. So where is it pulling it from? So it initially told me that it was in the initial call with Dolly Vision. And I listened to that. I didn't hear it. But I only I only searched like from 50, the timestamp 50-minute mark onwards, just to isolate that call. So this was the best answer I could get. So I was doing some comparing. Let me just scroll up and find this. Follow up, locating the Dolly Vision's week 4 reference to Darren's Thursday visit claim. Based on my query about the table entry under 3, the Thursday visit pre-disappearance, specifically Darren's quote, they stopped by Jordan's on Thursday, dropped off something from Dolly Vision sometime in week 4, I've traced this back through available sources. This appears to be a paraphrased or summarized claim from Darren Derwood Geddes during one of his early appearances on Dolly Vision's YouTube channel, where he discusses inside information from Daniel Martell about the family's movements on the Thursday before Lily and Jack Sullivan went missing on May 1st, 2025, assuming the disappearance was on May 2nd. Let's go over the key context. Darren's rule, why the quote? So why the quote? It's not verbatim in transcripts, but aligns with Darren's pattern of casual revelations about the family's logistics, like dropping off items at Jordan amid the Thursday errands. Then to the home, or then from Thursday errands, home to the missing visit, to the Dollarama, to the Loblaws, then back home again. Where to find the source? Dolly Vision's content is primarily on YouTube, with the live streams and discussions archived as videos. Darren's call starts around week 2 to 3 post-disappearance, mid-May 2025, building to more detailed claims by week 4, late May, early June. The specific Thursday detail emerges in early episodes as Darren stirs the pot with Daniel-sourced info. Primary channel is Dolly Vision on YouTube. Let's see. A search tip. It's telling me how to search for it. I tried nothing. I've been trying. Maybe it's in a playlist, I guess. I don't think so. Specific video leads. Canada missing Jack and Lily, live with Dolly Vision. See, that looks like a combination of... Oh, that would be... It's a Criming Shame. Live with Dolly Vision. Specific video leads from search results. This is a later recap live, month 2 or 3, but Dolly references early calls with Darren, including timeline gaps. Skip to 45 minutes or an hour, 20 minutes for insider discussions. Not exact week 4, but cross-reference to the Thursday... But there's cross-reference... The Thursday stop by as part of what Daniel told Derwood. So both of these streams that it's naming are really the same one, just being streamed to different channels, I believe. Or maybe they appeared on each other's channel. The search for Jack and Lily Sullivan with special guest It's a Criming Shame. Collaborative stream. Hour and 10 minutes, they dissect Darren's early claims, including the Thursday drop-off at Jordan's, as a potential timeline filler. Guest, It's a Criming Shame, another... It says Nova Scotia, but I'm pretty sure she's from Vancouver, or out west. True Crime Channel calls it Derwood's first big reveal. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So this right here, should go search that up. Now, I'm making this video just for those individuals who are out there searching this down right now. I'm not trying to make a whole lot of time. I'm just showing you where I got the information from. But the thing that keeps coming up in my mind here is that it's making a composite. It's synthesizing all of the information that Derwood shared, putting it together. Now, why would it make one of those up out of nothing? Like, it might be paraphrasing, it might not be exactly, but it's what he's trying to say in that sense. I wish it would just show me the exact point, but I don't know how it is we got here. The search for Jack and Lily with special guests, It's a Criming Shame. I'll probably go and take a look at that quickly, or put it through or go grab the transcript. Guest, It's a Criming Shame. Let me see. Earlier week 4 equivalent, no exact May-June 25 video titled week 4, but search results point to unarchived lives May 23rd to 30th, 2025. Dolly's first Darren call is in Everything We Know About the Search for Lily and Jack. May 16th, 2025. Too early. The Thursday detail likely hits in the follow-up around May 30th, 2025. Example under Derpwood update number 2. Ooh, a pro tip. Check Dolly's community tab or shorts for clips. Search Derwood Thursday Jordan. I think I did that. On the channel, yields 5 to 10 shorts from June 2025, timestamping the quote. 12:47 in a 1 hour live. I don't know what that means, so I'm going to go do that. Let's just do it for the hell of it. Why don't you link me up and show me what it comes up for you there, Grok? Hold on. I'll go do this. Well, here's a pro tip back to Grok. I went and tried that and nothing's coming up anywhere. Pro tip. Why are you making this so difficult? Oh, man. This is crazy. Related videos on Derwood's claims. Bombshell. Lily and Jack's mother put them in a vehicle and, quote, on the run from June 19th, 2025. Recaps Dolly's appearances, including Thursday logistics. The other one is she took them and ran. Derwood say Malaya is on the run with Meadow, June 20th, 2025. Clips Darren's call. 1540 mentions stop by at Jordan's place that Thursday. Nothing to it. Let's go see this.
One of the key questions we always get is what?
Man, this has me on. This has me. First of all, it's not at timestamp 1540. This has me on an AI video, bro. This is so horrible. Way back from June 28th, it looks like. Huh. This idiot. This is horrible content. This is AI made to make Daniel look innocent. I just put myself through 3 minutes of it. And Malaya looked guilty in this sense way back then in that. Heaven's sakes, just 1 sec. I'll keep trucking through this. But that timestamp, it doesn't look like it's that timestamp. So where is it pulling this from? Oh, I can't believe I just put myself through that. It didn't say... I just listened to the Derwood clips and there's no mention of that Thursday morning. It's AI generated. It's not even accurate. It's storytelling is what this was from. Holy crap. It's frustrating. I should show you it. Yeah, it's this right here. Holy mackerel. This True Crime Stories Hour. It's AI generated and it's the worst. It's the worst. It's not even accurate. Man. So I wonder if we're like on a wild goose chase in this sense. I'm going to have to physically go through. I wonder if it's going to be over somewhere on Adventures Underwater UK, like a compilation channel. Anyway. It drives me nuts because it was accurate about everything else. Like, it's an accurate depiction. Except, I can't find anything about this Thursday visit. Why? Why, Darren? So could it be taking the Thursday morning visit and assuming? Is AI assuming for the sake of composition, synthesization? Or synthesization. Oh, man. So as it sits right now, AI has sourced that as far as I'm concerned. We haven't found any Darren clip of him even talking about the Thursday morning other than really what's come through AI in that sense. Has anybody else heard it? Let me know in the comments section below. I don't want people to be following up on loose ends in that sense and getting themselves into a state of mind that is less accurate. Like, I mean, at the end of it, it doesn't really change anything as to where things stand with the Thursday visit by Daniel and Malaya and the RCMP tip, other than Jordan's staunch denial. Everything still stands up to that point. It was just this really added ridiculousness of Darren contradicting it and AI suggesting that somewhere they pulled that information from. I want to know where it is. I don't know why this is so difficult. But it feels like if we can't find it and it's not there, then there's something wrong within this report, which can happen. Like, you have to, sometimes it's not perfect and you can pick it up. Like, you can't rely on it fully, you know. Now, I don't want to dismiss it yet. It's just that there's so much content out there to go through. Hopefully people aren't getting as frustrated as I am, but I know that people are out there searching it because people are sending me messages in that sense, wondering where it is. So I'm going and I'm trying to follow it up on it myself, and hopefully this video helps in that regards. It's boring AF, I know, but it's better that we figure that out now than get sidetracked with using something against Darren that we don't need to. Like, there's so much already. We don't need to add things on in that sense. Anyway. So I'm like right here where it says, the Derwood call you're referring to appears to be a composite of multiple appearances by Derwood Geddes. So within that composition, it's paraphrasing. Could it be possible that it's the AI grok is assuming? It's assuming it's there, or it gives us a place because we're asking for it in that sense? Possibly. I don't know. Like, it wouldn't surprise me that he did. That's why I think it's so logical. It's got to be out there somewhere, but I would think that it would be sticking out in people's minds more. Especially the people who reported the tip, the individuals who have been in the background investigating from that. It would probably stand out to them, I would expect, but I don't expect that they would remember everything. So hold on, we'll continue. Like when it says, however, I've reconstructed the most complete version. No matter what else, the AI's telling you that it's taking and pulling from a lot of different places. And I've noticed, like, for example, in this other video that it sent us to, this horrible AI video, it is, I almost don't want to give you, because I do want to play it as an example, but I don't. It's AI generated. And it's bad, even though it has like 10, 11,000 videos on it. Somebody made money on it, but it's highly suggestive and supportive of Daniel. It's taking what Daniel... See, the AI can't pick up that Daniel's lying in that sense. It can, but it's not programmed to be searching for it. It's just taking the words and making something in that sense, and it has to draw from something, and it'll draw from the statements made by Daniel, and it comes across as very accusatory towards Malaya. It doesn't even pronounce Malaya properly. It doesn't. It was pretty bad. Here, you can listen to a little bit of it. I'll play it. Not to mention, just trying to get to it right now, there's three commercials on top of it already. It's like, holy mackerel, can we just play it already?
Nothing about that moment seemed unusual. No cries for help, no signs of fear, just a family moving through a normal afternoon. And then they were gone. As dawn broke the next day, Daniel says he awoke to a silent house. No footsteps, no laughter, no children. He called out, searched the rooms, but Lily and Jack had vanished. Later that morning, Malahaya placed the 911 call.
Malahaya? What the hell is going on here? That's so cringe. Oh my God, it's so bad. So they're really taking it and turning it around and telling the story as it's to the script, as the RCMP know it. That's, I guess we'll call it the official narrative in that sense. Oh my God. Oh my God. So this is just one of the videos it was suggesting. Oh, Grok, I wish you hadn't suggested that. It almost feels like this AI is gaslighting us to a degree with this. This is the second time it's pointed out the timestamp and it's been inaccurate. Not that it's always inaccurate, just in this particular thread. I should just delete this thread, get on with things. But it's got me intrigued. I need to find out where this thing went wrong in order to, feel better. If it is wrong, it's telling you right there. It's a composite of multiple appearances. So in reality, how is anybody to know exactly what it's paraphrasing and how it's tying together? There's going to be, it's putting it together for like a script for TV in order to tell the story in that sense. No different than what it's doing in that AI generated video. So you got to be careful because it's not perfect in that sense. Like, for example, yesterday I popped a screenshot up in there and it did a really good job taking it. Like, it's not easy for a computer to look at something that's written and put that and transcribe that. And I thought that was pretty fantastic, and it did such a good job. Except one word. It added a lily in Derwood's statement in a different place in that interpretation. And it altered certain parts of the analysis afterwards because it was picking something out to be a leakage when in fact it was just AI adding a particular word in a place where actually that's, it should have been checked, and I should have checked before I ran the analysis, but I did catch it type of thing. So it's not perfect and it can happen. So we should be careful and be aware of it at the very least. In another slight, I'd say, what would you call that? An error. I'll just call it an error by AI yesterday. Like in this, see where it says drone protection? So in this conversation, or any conversation that it pulled from, the only time drone protection has been brought up has been by YouTubers, and very recently. It's from a recent screenshot by Daniel Martel. So why and how is it that it's just inserting Dolly bringing up drone protection? Somebody go find that question. I mean, I don't. Do you see how it's composing things? So I don't. It's fascinating, but I think we're observing slight errors in the AI, and we should take them accordingly. Like, you need to check it out essentially before we go believing everything 100%, and that's what we're doing here, right? That's what we've been doing the last couple days with this particular topic. So I'm not saying believe it or don't believe it. That we can't find it might be and may be a signal that the AI is flawed in this particular sense, with the Darren Geddes reference to talking about Thursday morning, specifically on Dolly Vision's channel, because I don't know where else it would be. I don't want to start going through everyone just to find this. If it pops up, it pops up. Keep it in the back of your mind, but it could be a wild goose chase. Not that it's a determining factor in anything. We still believe Derwood is lying in that sense, and the fact that Daniel and Malaya were seen by I'll say more than one party Thursday morning, and that's where it sits. So did Derwood validate it and contradict it? Don't know. I don't want to listen. So that's all. Let's go somewhere else. My point, another point would be not to sidetrack ourselves with something when we need not. Jack and Lily are still missing. Daniel's still bullshitting, lying. And that needs to be talked about in that sense. So don't let this sidetrack you too much. I wanted to make this video to iron out the details just in case anybody in the future gets confused. Now, I did find a Thursday reference. A Thursday reference and a loose acknowledgement from Adventures Underwater UK. I just went ahead, guys, and went and started searching myself because I'm not giving up. It pulled it from somewhere. I just need to know where it synthesized from. It could be paraphrasing all of his references to what would otherwise be recognized as Thursday. So here is This is actually from Adventures Underwater UK. And this is titled Lily and Jack Sullivan. Darren Geddes is on It's a Criming Shame and drone footage from Tint's channel. I'll give it the old thumbs up. I do like this Adventures Underwater UK guy. So it's a sensitivity, actually, to stick to Plaid's framework in that sense. That's priority, leakage, avoidance, intentions, distancing language, and sensitivities. To keep it concise, or keep it a little shortened in that sense, he is talking about, him moving back to this place where the address on, what is it, Fox something Road, and that's where Jordan lives, and this is where the RCMP were bothering his son in this circumstance with this tip from individuals in the area identifying Daniel and Malaya there that morning. Darren, interestingly enough, mentions that Jordan has 2 kids roughly around the same age as Daniel's there as well. But really, Darren, whatever's going on in his life and his involvement with all of this, the old lady, his ex-wife, wouldn't let him even stay on the property down in an old RV in the corner. Now, who does that remind you of? That's Janie. He's going to get Janied over back at Jordan's mom's house, his ex's house. She said no to all of this. So let's listen to this clip. It made me giggle a little bit. Just to finish off what I was saying, excuse me, I got sidetracked. The trigger here is criticism and threats. The trigger here is criticism and threats, timestamp 416. Derwood's reaction has an emotional flood talking about his evictions and his son's kids threatened, which would be Jordan. And it escalates to far-fetched and absurd. Let's listen. Timestamp 416. Whoops. Oh, geez. All kinds of buttons being pressed. 416. We'll start it at 410.
It's my buddy's laptop here, like I said.
Nice.
Because all this stuff I told you got so brutal with death threats and all that the lady I lived with and rented a room off of, she kicked me out because she couldn't stand the death threats anymore, and she was scared of that going on. And so anyway, and then when I went back to the house in Foxbrook, where my ex lives and my sons live, I have a camper and that behind the barn, that down the field where I was going to live. But my oldest son has 2 kids exactly the same age as Jack and Lily, and there was a lot of people coming around there making threats to my son, saying my son's kidnapped Jack and Lily, and they were taking pictures. A lot of them were thinking they were going to get $150,000 because they were at my grandkids and thinking they were Jack and Lily. Now, this, you talk about far-fetched and absurd. By the way, I didn't appreciate I might as well be truthful.
I know.
You know, I didn't appreciate your guys' comments the other night because this is getting so crazy and got so crazy.
Yeah.
But Daniel's going to be here too. I'm sure he's probably listening. And I told him I wanted him here because I want people to know our relationship, that I don't kiss Daniel's arse.
Sure.
He doesn't control my mind. So anyway, there now, I'll shut up and, and I'll tell you what and by the way, Belinda Gray knows me. She realizes who I am. We had met over at Patty's there over the years.
Yeah.
And she finally knows the ugly face to the name.
Don't use Belinda's good name to try to bolster yourselves there, fun boy. But that's exactly what he was doing here. That's an interesting little sensitivity and mention to what we would otherwise refer to as Thursday morning or Thursday around noon or lunchtime or whenever the exact time was. The Thursday timeline. That same timeline that they, or Daniel at least, and Janie avoid really going into a lot of detail about. Well, listen, assholes, you're going to need to, at some point, do that. Fill in those blanks. But there's nothing worth remembering, Daniel says. I'll see you at lunch. I'll see you at dinner in prison. See you in the mess hall. Oh, come on. Come on, Danny. You don't want to offer up what exactly you were doing at any point from really 3 o'clock onwards. You want to talk about finding your tools to help your moms work on the fence again? Yeah, sure. What did you do? You don't even know what time you went to bed. Because you didn't go to bed, tweaker. Here's another reference here. Trying to separate himself from the guilt with some distancing language. I never worked with Daniel. My youngest son worked with Daniel. 1016 timestamp. He's minimizing the ties with the old Danny boy. Talking about his connection via Jordan and rumors. Let's listen.
Daniel's friends and that were staying away from him because of they didn't want to get involved or get touched with that stuff. So, and like I said, if Daniel's online, I hope Janie's here too. So one day I was working in behind my barn in Foster Avenue where I work on my junk. I'm retired, but I go back to the old property and I got a barn back there and my tools and a bunch of old junks back there. So I just go there to play now, really, fix up old junk. I was back there one day, and this was, like I say, about a week and a half or so after the kids had been gone. And this black SUV pulled out in front. I never thought anything of it. And so I walked out front just to see who it was. So it was a lady driving who doesn't need to be named, and it was another guy with Daniel, and it was Daniel. Daniel got out of the rig, and this other guy I know. This other guy used to work with my youngest son too, by coincidence, as another location. So when they were down the road, the other guy and the girl brought Daniel in town because he hadn't eaten in a few days, and he looked pretty gaunt. So they brought him in town to buy him a slice of pizza and get him straightened up.
He hasn't eaten in a few days. He's pretty gaunt. He's been tweaking. He's been on one. It would seem to me that all his little buddies, Derwood, were avoiding him. Is that what you're saying? Even the pipeline boys? And anyway, it's Derwood just bullshitting, isn't he? But interesting nonetheless. Another reference.
There was a comment there asked me why I deleted my Facebook account. Well, I never deleted my Facebook account. They deleted it for me. So, and I don't have my ability. I have a computer now because it's my buddy's laptop here, like I said.
Nice.
Because all this stuff I told you got so brutal with death threats and all that the lady I lived with and rented a room off of, she kicked me out because she couldn't stand the death threats anymore, and she was scared of that going on. And so anyway, and then when I went back to the house in Foxbrook, where my ex lives and my sons live, I have a camper and that behind the barn, that down the field where I was going to live. But my oldest son has 2 kids exactly the same age as Jack and Lily, and there was a lot of people coming around there making threats to my son, saying my son's kidnapped Jack and Lily, and they were taking pictures. A lot of them were thinking they were going to get $150,000 because they were at my grandkids and thinking they were Jack and Lily. Now,
Well, isn't that interesting? Now, we know that Derpwood is lying. We know that Jordan's lying. The individuals that called the tip into the RCMP know the difference between all of the kids, made a drawing, acknowledged these statements already. But it's interesting to hear Derpwood talk about the fact that he has a trailer at his ex-wife's house at Jordan's place. It would tell me that he's probably back there all the time. He's engaged on that level. The old lady's just probably not letting him around because he's a scumbag and he's associated with all of this, and she knows a whole lot more than we do at this point in time. Now, as we go back over to Google Earth, how am I going to do this? There we go. You remember the route that they took? There's Garlock Road through Rockin. So here's Jack and Lily's home. Traveled up towards New Lairg. I'll try to keep my pointer, if you can see it, on the road. There's New Lairg. Let's zoom out a little bit. We're going to go. It showed them. Now, who knows? It's just the blue line that we're following, remember? There's Rockin. Now, there's the middle river of Pictou, east river of Pictou. There's probably a west river of Pictou too, all going down into New Glasgow. It kind of makes driving and road building difficult. And the only area to get across those rivers, or the middle river, I believe this one is, the middle river of Pictou, is here at Union Center. There's a little airport there. Now that's a crossing point. You can see it from afar all the way back. Now, this is where things on the Google location or Google Maps that Malaya screenshot and sent out to, I believe, Sonny over at It's a Criming Shame, it shows a deviation off until the northwest right here. So whether they went straight to begin with or came back this way, it could be either or. They could have made a right at Union Center, went up this road, and made their way back over to Jordan's place here. You can edit it as well, by the way. Now there's Westville. Now getting over, and it shows that they probably went up over into Stellarton and back onto the Trans-Canada over either at this one by the Museum of Industry or this particular turnoff. There's a couple by Priestville. There's a couple options, but it's wide. It's wide, and they used that route this particular day between up by Pleasant Valley Motor Speedway all the way over to what would otherwise be known as Stellarton and this turnoff right here. New Glasgow just being north of the Trans-Canada, of course. But Jordan's place right here. So let's zoom in on it. I wonder if we can see the trailer at the back of the property. So the trailer at the back of the property. Holy Hannah, look at this place. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is that what that big rectangular thing is down by the water? Oh, he's down by the water kicking his feet back. Isn't that where what he says he is there now, down by the water? He's probably at Jordan's house while he's taking this call. Kind of looks like a little structure, like an RV right here, doesn't it? That's probably where Derwood O'Grady is. Right down there. Who knows whose place this is? It might be the neighbor's house I'm looking at, but there's shitholes. What the hell do you guys got back there? A toxic waste dump? This is where he brings things to rip apart. Look at all the vehicular traffic in the background. Let me just go down. Let's go down to Street View for a second. Stand at the front of the driveway. Oh, lovely home, lovely home. So which one, doesn't he have the black car out there? Let's see if we can't figure this out a little bit. Foxbrook Road. My trailer down at Foxbrook Road, there it is right there. So it's this shithole. Well, sorry, Jordan's mom. This is where Derwood was allowed to stay once. There's one view of it. There's where the black car is up in front. It's probably Jordan's car right there. Little pool in the background. There's Derpwood's truck, maybe. He's got all kinds of junk and things out in the back. Let's go back just a tad bit. Maybe we can go back to a time where Derpwood still lived there. It's looking like this. No, is that truck backed up to a trailer or something? That's where Derpwood was allowed to stay when he was over. So, isn't it really weird that Jordan and Derpwood have the same living arrangements in a way as the problem over at Garlock Road with Daniel and Janie? She just moved out just like Derpwood in a trailer to her driveway. Out of her own trailer. Geez, we're going all the way back to 2012 with this. September 2012, the same property. Is there another little shot back there for Derpwood? You can see there's an RV right there. Holy, wow. Is that the one that you're staying in, maybe? Still looks like it's roadworthy there. Looking back in 2012, just wheeling and dealing all of these vehicles. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Let's go to October 2021. Interesting. So you'll see I updated my project here in Google Earth to make everybody aware of exactly where Jordan Geddes' mom's house is. You can see that there on your screen, and Darren Geddes' RV Oasis in the back. That's has to be what it is. Like, it's interesting to see. It's a nice little chunk of property. Too bad Derwood couldn't keep it together. Maybe his love affair with Janie came in between Jordan's mom and Derpwood. He's a good man. He's just trying to help. Or is that the bus? Is that the bus or the RV? Maybe that's the bus that Jordan plays drums in.
Nice. Because all this stuff I told you got so brutal with death threats and all that the lady I lived with and rented a room off of, she kicked me out because she couldn't stand the death threats anymore, and she was scared of that going on. And so anyway, and then when I went back to the house in Foxbrook, where my ex lives and my sons live, I have a camper and that behind the barn, that down the field where I was going to live. But my oldest son has two kids exactly the same age as Jack and Lily, and there was a lot of people coming around there making threats to my son, saying my son's kidnapped Jack and Lily, and they were taking pictures. A lot of them were thinking they were going to get $150,000 because they were at my grandkids and thinking they were Jack and Lily. Now, this, you talk about far-fetched and absurd. By the way, I didn't appreciate I might as well be truthful.
I know.
You know, I didn't appreciate your guys' comments the other night because this is getting so crazy and got so crazy.
Yeah.
But Daniel's going to be here too. I'm sure he's probably listening. And
yeah, old Derpwood, he got mad at Sonny after a while. He blames everything going wrong at that point in time and afterwards on Sonny, Mike Demand, myself. It's kind of a cycle with them at this point in time. Now I'm into a second interview with Sonny and Derpwood here. And boy, oh boy. Interesting piece of leakage, I feel, in talking about, well, there's several pieces, but the one I want to focus on here is his statement about they're not really being hidden. They're with her family, not really missing. You know, in this interview, we'll call it, this gaslight session, because this is disinformation by way of Darren, and it needs to be stated before we go any further here. His priority in this is to get this message out there. And it all really comes down to defending Daniel, but his message is they're not really being hidden. They're with their family. So it's priority and leakage. He was also talking about Janie having all of this stuff recorded. Talking about Janie having the proof, but he's the only one relaying it. He says, Janie has this stuff recorded, exact timeline right down to the minute is the statement. But the one I want to play for you is this at timestamp 7 minutes. And the title is Lily and Jack Sullivan, Darren Geddes speaking. That would be the 3rd of July, 2025 on It's a Criming Shame. Intense drone footage if you're also searching in the background and anything relating to Darren mentioning anything about Thursday or Jordan or reference thereof. Because remember, the AI may be summarizing.
You've got to consider that everybody's screaming about she's hiding them and all this. No, they're not really being hidden. They're not really being hidden. They're with speculating. They're with her family. And that's why she acts like she's not concerned about her missing children, because they're not really missing. That's speculation.
Yeah.
Now, there's one other thing I want to say, and
Not really missing. Ha 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 ha, Darren. Yeah, they're missing to those who care about them, Derpwood. Derpwood here is not taking the situation as seriously as the rest of us, it seems.
screaming about she's hiding them and all this. No, they're not really being hidden. They're not really being hidden. They're with speculating. They're with her family. And that's why she acts like she's not concerned about her missing children, because they're not really missing. That's speculation.
Yeah.
Now, there's one other thing I want to say.
What's so funny about that? Funny speculation. You're putting a fancy twist on it, a little quirk for the stupid people? On one hand, Derpwood here wants to be the man with key insider information, but use that to speculate and lead those who are thirsty for information in all kinds of different directions away from the truth in that sense. Wouldn't the point of being an insider in that sense? That would be the only reason in the circumstance, because the goal is finding Jack and Lily. Derpwood's always wanted to protect the information and embellish and put off and try to convince everybody just how trustworthy Janie is. That didn't last very long. Another interesting sensitivity from Derpwood. And it's his an early acknowledgement. It's the way he sets up the rest of his nonsense. His early acknowledgement of Daniel's guilt. The quote, is, "My family was counting on me to prove Daniel did it." He's trying to flip your mind in that sense. Guilt flip. He wants to demonstrate to everybody that he too once was suspicious of Daniel, but the more he got to know him, the more that he just fell in love with him. He believed him. You couldn't have possibly have done this. Listen, Janie has all of this, and this Janie worship that comes by way of Derpwood is incredibly ridiculous.
Coming out to me, because the reason she did, the first day that I went out there, I had a problem with Daniel. Now let's make everybody straight on this. The first 3 weeks of this, my family was counting on me to prove that Daniel did abuse those kids and hurt those kids. And for the first 3 weeks, I was looking at him. I thought he did. But everything I found out pointed away from him. Now, this is my family that I'm indicting here. I want people to understand that. It's me saying, listen, Malaya's in this.
It's your family that you're indicting here? This guy. Derwood. You know what? I should apologize to Don Buchanan and Don B. Do you remember way back when this was earlier going on? I made a shit I wanted to troll Don B's comment section. I wanted to troll his viewers. So he made a video calling out Derpwood, and then I made a shit video talking about Don B. I'm sorry about that, Don. It didn't have anything to do with your observation of Derpwood. I was just trolling. Don't worry about it. But Don B, I'll acknowledge that he had Derwood in suspicions this entire time. I'm not trying to say that he didn't. Not that it's much of an issue. It's just something that I remember from months ago. Found another, no mention of Thursday, but I found another sensitivity from an interview of Darren. Quote, "My woman's getting ready to come through the door and blow my brains out. This is a domestic excuse and not his choice to quit or stop investigating in that sense." Timestamp 110. Let's listen.
Right. Cindy was another one who possibly could have supplied a name.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to tell you an interesting little thing. No, I'm not. Listen, I got to stop. I got to stop this because my woman's getting ready to come through the door and blow my brains right out because this has been so irritating to her. Right? Her nerves don't take this, and my nerves are bad over it. And I mean, her son is calling her and telling her for Jesus' sake to shut me up because he's getting people around here recognize my picture when that other didn't put my picture up, right?
Somebody.
And I'm well known in this community. I ran an excavation business for 30 years. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me. And the people that there's always people that don't like you. Well, it snowballed pretty good. So like I say, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do. I've gone as far as I can.
Yeah.
And I think I got second place is what I got. First place would have been bringing those kids home, giving them a goddamn bowl of ice cream, and then calling somebody and saying, "Listen, we got the kids. Whoever's in authority here, cops, CPS, whoever's in authority here, for Jesus' sake, come and get those kids." But that was my first. That would have been the winning line. That would.
So I wonder, this woman that you're with, was that your ex? And is the kid Jordan telling you to shut your mouth about all of this? That's interesting. So he's bedazzling you with all the other nonsense and BS, but within it are answers and the truth lies. And it also falls in line with this martyr exit that he's trying to exhibit in front of people. He's trying to bow out as almost a hero. He does that all the time. This first place I would have been bringing those kids home, I never made it. He wants to be seen as a martyr in this sense. Oh, I'll give it all I can. I'll tell you who's telling the truth, who's not. But it's all speculation. He's distancing himself, right? He knows full well it's bullshit.
Call on her phone. She called him back like about 6:20 or so. She was halfway awake, and when her phone, she called him back like about 6:20 or so. She was halfway awake, and when she come out at 30, but no, it was later than that. They were out early in the morning. She shuffled the kids off. That was my main finishing proof that Daniel never killed the kids. They were there alive, around 8:30. But no, it was later than that. They were there about Janie, and Janie's got this timeline all documented on her phone. She was that smart. Ron, her son, brother, had called her at 6:10, and she got that call on her phone. She called him back like about 6:20 or so. She was halfway awake, and when she come out of the trailer, she checked her phone.
Think about how deceptive Darren is being right there. This discrepancy in the timeline. First of all, it's not just a slip of the tongue. You've repeated yourself, and you're insistent that Janie, the 8:48 call with Ron, happened at 6:10 a.m. and she was up and about and more than awake and acknowledged and saw the kids and was interacting with them. This is another level of misinformation, intentional. Well, it's deception. It's intentional. This slip aligns with the types of omissions and timeline gaps and holes that Daniel states, that Malaya stated. They want you to focus around 20 minutes before their call at 10:01. He's so off in this circumstance, and of course it's intentional. He's using these times stick out in people's minds, and he's planting all of these falsehoods in the poor viewers' minds. What are we going to do? The reality is people have been calling him out since the get-go.